Hey guys, we're here for our final week of the 8 behaviors for permanent fat loss. And today I'm holding a journal, right? And the reason why I'm holding this journal is because we're going to be talking about tracking your progress. Not necessarily meaning like tracking how much you weigh or tape measures around gut, chest, and thighs and that type of thing. The kind of progress I want to talk about, the kind of things that I want you to keep track of and be in the habit of keeping track of are your body's responses to the stimulus that you give it. Stimulus food, stimulus exercise. So, and sleep, right? So if every day you journal what's been going on. Hey, I ate ice cream last night, and before I went to bed I had a stomach ache. That kind of stuff should go down in the journal. Maybe you weren't really sure it's ice cream in general, so is it chocolate ice cream or is it vanilla ice cream? You gotta test that out the next night. Oh, chocolate ice cream still gives me a little bit of a stomach ache. Never really noticed that before. I'm gonna write that down, okay? So I'll give you a great example. We were trying some of the school food that the kids are getting nowadays because they're home for this whole COVID learning thing where you're doing distance learning. And so they're providing food at the county level. So I tried some of that food. Man, I'm so bloated today, it's ridiculous. So there was this stuff that looked like ground beef. It tasted kind of funny. There was a bunch of chips that went along with it. So everything was very, very, very salty. Man, I'm up a good solid inch or so. And I really haven't felt great all day. I had a rock in my stomach this morning. So don't eat the school provided kids food. Okay, write that down. Not gonna do that again. Let's say you've gone for a run for 3 miles. You finish the run and your left knee is absolutely killing you. And so you write that down. And the next day you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go for like a 2-mile walk. And towards the end of the walk, the knee starts killing you. What's going on with that? So you write that down. So you wanna keep track of all the things that are causing you problems. And then you wanna start trying to address those problems. So if the knee's hurting, would it work to try and loosen up the muscles in your quadriceps before you go for a walk or for a run? And does it hurt afterwards, or does it hurt midstream? Are you really not ready to go that far and your body's just telling you, hey, 3-mile run is just too much right now. I know you used to be able to run 6 or 7 miles all the time, but you're coming back to working out and that 3-mile run is just simply too much. Maybe start out with walking for 5 minutes, running for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes, and do that for a few miles and see how your body recovers afterwards. Give your body time to build up that foundation. It could be that every time you press weights overhead, you get this really funny pain right around here. Okay, so try and figure out whether your shoulders are operating correctly. Can you put your arm all the way overhead before you start doing that movement, or are you forcing it into position and that's why it's really bugging you afterwards? Maybe your shoulder blade isn't moving correctly. All right, so just keep track of that. So hey, the next day or immediately after the workout or during the middle of pressing it, what's going on there? Maybe you can get somebody to look at you while you're moving and can tell you, oh, you're kind of punching forward with that overhead press. Oh, maybe when I'm punching forward, that's what's causing this pain here. Or of course you could ask a professional to evaluate what you're doing and see why you've got that pain in that particular position. You don't necessarily just want to take Advil immediately after the workout and say, it's fine. All right, so write all that stuff down. And over time, try something different. So before you do that movement, maybe you do a bit of stretching, or perhaps you dig in with a lacrosse ball and get all the muscles through the back part of your shoulders, get through your chest, outside of your shoulders, the entire region. And then, hey, I can raise my arm all the way overhead without any problems whatsoever. I can completely lock my elbow out. Maybe now I'll go ahead and try. Is there a difference? Yes, there's a difference. No, there's not a difference. Something else is going on, right? Did you have an injury there from the past? Is there some scar tissue built up, etc.? Maybe you can get some assistance with that. All right, so checking out your sleep. You don't sleep well. You wake up feeling like you didn't get a good night's sleep. Start trying some different things out. Maybe a different mattress, maybe a different pillow, perhaps different covers, right? More covers, less covers, a fan on at night. Try eating earlier so that your food is more digested when you go to bed. For instance, it takes about 3 to 5 hours for your food to completely digest. And if you're going to bed an hour after you eat, for instance, you may not be getting a very good night's sleep because your body is doing all that food digestion activity for hours after you go to bed. So try a few of those things. Write it down in the journal. How did it feel? You try the new thing. How do you feel? You try the new thing. How do you feel? And so you can just work through this whole process with every aspect around food, exercise, and sleep. And eventually you really get to know your body well, right? If after a workout you have some veggies and a glass of water, you feel much better afterwards. Or perhaps after a workout you eat an apple and 2 glasses of water and you feel great afterwards. Awesome. Okay. So the importance of all of this is that this is you getting back into shape with your body, and you have to pay attention to what your obstacles are and then try to solve those problems, those obstacles, and then see what happens. If you have a journal, you can record all of these problems down, you can record the types of solutions you come up with, and you can record the results. Keep doing the things that work, get rid of doing the things that don't work. I'm not going to be eating any more of that school food. Oh, I feel crap today. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. There's been some questions that have been coming in, and so we'll go over all of those questions with you. I don't know, we'll do 3 or 4 questions that keep popping up. Okay, so be sure to check back with us next week. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. See you next week.